These 25 cryptos are going to make you stinking rich in the next few months. I know you're probably tired of hearing this spiel by now, but this chart literally proves the altcoin market is about to break out in market cap and go absolutely crazy. We are inching further away from Bitcoin season. That slider is moving from orange to blue towards altcoin season, and now is the time to focus. Make sure you stay to the end of this video because I'm going to give you the utility and reasoning as to why I'm buying these 25 cryptos. Will go chronologically from the higher market cap all the way down into those dirty tiny cryptos. Many people are calling the top right now in crypto and for Bitcoin, but just take a look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart. It's obvious we are still yet to see the explosive gains. We are really yet to see euphoria in the market, and now is why you should be researching the utility into altcoins and building your conviction. I will be doing no paid promotions in this video, just purely the altcoins and low cap gems I'm researching into and buying ahead of altcoin season. You can sign up with BITUNIX in the description below, get access to all of my trades in my completely free Discord server, guys. With that being said, let's jump straight into the content. So guys, Bitcoin has clearly retested this prior trend line, as you can see, which was the cycle top in 2021. We've now retested this and turned it from resistance into support, and Bitcoin is holding very nicely with a nice rally over the last 24 to 48 hours, sitting at $109,000. The last remaining resistance, in my opinion, until we do see a parabolic move for Bitcoin, and of course the rest of the market, is just simply this multi-year trend line. If you're thinking the top is already in and Bitcoin is running out of steam, I would challenge you to look at the Bitcoin rainbow price chart. Just look at this. We've not even moved up into the green, let alone the yellow, orange, and of course red, which would indicate somewhere around the cycle top. Now, of course, a conservative target around about 140 to 180k would be sensible, but I really think that we could see even yellow, orange, or perhaps red in the coming cycle. And Bitcoin is still following the M2 money supply. Just in the last 24 to 48 hours, we saw that bounce, correcting and following the M2 money supply. And this is just simply America and China injecting liquidity, printing money, quantitative easing into the economy. And of course, where does that money go? It flows into assets like gold, Bitcoin, etc. And we're moving away from Bitcoin season ever so slightly. This number was not 30, it was around 20 last week. We're inching towards equilibrium, and then of course altcoin season, which aligns very nicely with this path to altcoin season that we keep taking a look at. Of course, phase one being Bitcoin season. We all know the star of the show has been Bitcoin lately, and we're very close to moving into phase two very soon of Ethereum season. We've seen a lot of money moving on-chain into Ethereum in the last week, which brings me on into this video where we're going to take a look at the large caps first and then move down chronologically by market cap into low cap altcoins, which aligns very nicely, moving from phase 3 into phase 4. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere because this video is the top 25 best altcoins in my opinion. No, this is not financial advice, and I've not been paid by any of these cryptos, unlike most crypto influencers that just sell out and only talk about the projects that they're either investing into or they're being paid to talk about. I do not do this on this channel because I think it's super important to actually give you guys the genuine information and what I'm actually buying into, and not just be a shill. The first crypto, this is a larger cap crypto, guys. So if you have more money to invest, you're sat on a good chunk of money, you need to be parking that into these bigger cryptos. You can throw maybe 5-10% into the low cap gems we're going to take a look at later in the video, but you make sure you're investing sensibly. And Sui, in my opinion, is one of these lower risk cryptos that is going to continue outperforming the rest of the market this cycle, currently sat at $11 billion. But I have to preface and say that anything can happen in crypto. Luna literally did a rug pull, a multi-billion-dollar coin. In the space of 1 week, it dropped literally 99%. This can happen in crypto no matter how safe you feel. Now, is it likely to happen to Sui? Of course, absolutely. Absolutely not. But I have to continue telling you guys the risk in crypto so that you understand what can happen. Now, Sui is a layer 1 blockchain with some serious innovation and team behind it. And to pull off a layer 1 blockchain in the crypto space, you need a very talented developer team. You can see Sui has just shy of 2 billion total value locked on chain and around $1 billion in stable coins on their actual network, which is very good indeed. And you can see a list of the cryptos and platforms and actual projects building on the Sui ecosystem. You can see Sui Lend, BLOFIN as well, which is worth 200 million total value locked. And there is a bunch of other projects currently building on their chain, which is very, very good. Sui really is playing into this ease of building on Web3 with the ease of building on Web2. They already have a functioning platform, of course, for developers to get started and build their applications. And another bullish case for Sui, in my opinion, is simply the fact that it's an American-based crypto, and we're going to see some of these cryptos based in America do very well this cycle simply because of how bullish Trump is, and obviously his team that he's been handpicking in the American actual government, etc., and in the SEC. He's building out the Fed as well to basically just be bullish on crypto. And last time that Trump was in office, we saw altcoin season, and I think we're going to see the same in the next few months, especially once Jerome Powell has been kicked out. You can see the volume on Sui has been very steady, even in alignment with that pump and rally that we saw close to Christmas of last year in January of this year, when the whole altcoin market was indeed going crazy. You can see we're returning back to similar levels of volume, and people are still accumulating Sui like crazy. I think a sensible price target for this cycle is going to be no less than around $15 to $20 for Sui. Currently, we're at $3.30. The next crypto is none other than Chainlink. Yes, we're at 9 billion, guys, but make sure you don't go anywhere, because there is a bunch of these 30 tiny cryptos that we're going to be taking a look at. So guys, don't switch off. We have to get through the blue chip, larger cap cryptos so that you guys know these should be where you're parking most of your money, so you're not gambling essentially on these lower cap cryptos. But of course, with big risk usually comes big reward, and that's why we diversify not only into these blue chips like Chainlink, actually providing some serious utility out in the real world already, helping big companies come to the blockchain and enforcing this adoption globally. We are now also looking to these lower cap cryptos because that's where we find the most gains. Chainlink currently a 9.5 billion market cap with around 300 million volume in the last 24 hours. Chainlink really plays into RWA and also just helping big companies out there already killing it. Big financial companies come and operate on the blockchain. So this is something that if you believe in crypto in the long term, you should be accumulating. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I think Chainlink is going to do some heavy lifting on bringing these big companies out in the real world over into the blockchain and allowing them to actually scale and communicate across chain effectively, which is something that is very much needed on the blockchain. It made highs of around $20 billion in the last altcoin season around 2021, and in the rally that we saw around last year, again in January of this year and Christmas of last year, we saw Chainlink go up to around a 15 billion, almost hitting those highs of the last cycle and being one of the best performing coins in that mini altcoin season that we had at the end of last year. Currently about a 3x gain away from the all-time high as mentioned in the last altcoin season. I think a price target for this altcoin season no less than around $100 for Chainlink. We could say maybe around $80 maybe at minimum, but I think because of the heavy lifting that Chainlink does for these big companies, I really think this can get to maybe like a 30-40 billion plus market cap in the next altcoin season, and I think that's actually somewhat conservative. I think the market cap of some of these cryptos are going to go absolutely crazy. Now the next crypto is Litecoin, and to be honest, some of you are going to be thinking, wow, Litecoin, I can't believe he picked that, and that's almost why I'm choosing it. In my opinion, the price action and actual trajectory of Litecoin is so clean. It's one of the safer cryptos. It's viewed as silver if Bitcoin is viewed as gold. They are like brother and sister. They've coexisted together since the early 2014. In fact, I think it was actually developed earlier than that in around 2011. Currently sat at a $6.8 billion market cap. And if you're looking to buy into larger cap cryptos, I really think that Litecoin is one of those bets that is going to perform very, very well. And to be honest, it doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. I've been in crypto for the last few cycles. I got in it in around 2016 at these lows down here. So I managed to see Litecoin have both of its insane rallies during both of the altcoin seasons. And you can see it made a new high both times of around $400 in the 2021 cycle and just over $300 in the 2017 bull market. I think it's safe to assume that we're going to see another high in this cycle as well. And I think that Litecoin really can get above $500 this time. And I think that we could see even much higher, because when Bitcoin goes up, Litecoin tends to follow. And we all know how strong Bitcoin's been in the last couple of years, 2 years in particular. It's really just been the only thing moving. It's really been Bitcoin season. And I think that Litecoin is yet to play catch up with that narrative. And another thing, of course, that I've yet to mention, silly me, but Litecoin is going to have an ETF in the not so distant future alongside SUI. We see 21 shares filing for a SUI ETF, and I think that it's only a matter of time until Litecoin has the same as well, which of course opens up the floodgates to these institutional companies like BlackRock to start accumulating like crazy. Now, Litecoin was just a more efficient version of Bitcoin back in the day. It was made originally to allow people to send money a lot faster than Bitcoin. Now, of course, no one's really using Litecoin today to actually send money. There is a lot of other faster alternatives. If I was going to send some money on the blockchain, I'm probably going to use the likes of Tron, maybe even like Solana or BNB or something like that. But the reason why I pick Litecoin is because I really do see it as silver in comparison to Bitcoin being gold in terms of a good store of value. The next crypto is Aave, AAVE, currently sat at a $4 billion market cap, just shy of $300 per token, with just shy of a 600 million volume in the last 24 hours. You can see that it's been pumping very nicely in the last 2 months. I think this is going to be one of those top performing coins that we've taken a look at so far in this video. I think that it will likely outperform Chainlink, SUI, Litecoin, etc. So do with this information as you please. Of course, this is not financial advice, but Aave allowed you to actually take out loans on the blockchain, and we are yet to really see that materialize and actually play catch up with some of the market caps of these cryptos because of how much more institutional liquidity and money is on the blockchain that likes to actually take out loans and go into debt. I think that this is going to be a huge narrative in the upcoming cycle. You can take out loans and use your crypto as collateral and also earn yield on tokens, so like 10% maybe a year. So if you want to actually park your crypto somewhere where it's doing something for you and earning you some passive income, Aave is the place to do that. I think that we could see this reach about a $50 billion market cap, so over a 10x gain from where it currently is, which would of course make this thing sit at over $2,000 per token, which would be insane. But I think Aave is going to be one of those top performing coins of this upcoming cycle in terms of those blue chips with the larger market caps. At 4.4 billion, it's most definitely a larger market cap crypto, and I think we're going to see this absolutely take off. The next crypto is Ondo, currently ranked number 37, just under $1 per token at a $2.7 billion market cap. Now, Ondo is actual real world asset integration. So I think that RWA and AI are going to be the leading sectors and narratives of this cycle, and I actually hypothesize that RWA might actually outperform AI because AI is still in its infancy. We're not seeing too much liquidity, but things like real world assets, they are yet to actually materialize on the blockchain in all of these big companies like BlackRock, etc. Think about the assets they hold and the market caps that some of these cryptos could get to, considering that BlackRock is a multi-trillion-dollar company. So not only is Ondo actually bridging traditional financial companies onto the blockchain, but they're actually allowing them to tokenize their actual assets on the blockchain as well. Think of things like houses, cars, companies, financial instruments, tech, etc. Materializing on the blockchain would be insane, the amount of market cap that this thing could get to. A new era of financial inclusivity on chain. The Ondo Foundation's mission is to usher in a new era of financial inclusivity and market efficiency through the on-chain institutional grade financial products and services. So obviously when it's institutional grade like this, the market cap that this can get to is absolutely absurd, and I don't want to speculate too much because similar to Aave, it's hard to tell really how much liquidity these things are going to generate, but we could see a comfortable 10x, maybe even 20x gain in the upcoming cycle for big blue chip cryptos like this. The next crypto is Quant. We are going down the market caps gradually. We're at a $1.48 billion market cap, but guys, don't go anywhere because some of the cryptos at the end of this video are under 10 million market cap, many below 50 million and 100 million. So if you're here for those dirty, tiny cryptos and you're getting tired of these big blue chips, don't go anywhere because they're coming later in this video. But Quant is an absolute beast in terms of decentralization, actually allowing developers to build truly decentralized applications on the actual blockchain, which is something that obviously crypto is really pushing, is the decentralization. And unfortunately, a lot of the cryptos right now that are in that top 100 spot, with Quant being number 56, they're actually fairly centralized. So many are speculating that we're not actually going to see these centralized cryptos really actually hold on to their market caps over the next 10-20 years. So if you're looking on a more broader long-term scale, decentralization is definitely something you should be looking into and prioritizing. The future of money is intelligent, automated, and interconnected. Today, people and businesses, they of course demand speed, efficiency, and automation. We are going to need a crypto that is heavily regulated to actually do this in a decentralized manner, making money programmable, removing the friction and risk that actually enhances lives of businesses and consumers. In essence, Quant is going to potentially be used to help these big banks move on-chain into crypto. So you guys can only imagine the market cap that this can get to if it truly helps all of these big banks move on-chain. The next crypto, and this is the only meme coin in this video purely because of its actual traction. I try to stay away from meme coins as much as possible in these top crypto altcoin picks that I'm giving you, purely because I like to back them up with utility, and I think that it's hard to actually justify holding meme coins for the long term because they lack such utility. However, Fartcoin is the exception. Why? Because it gets the most traction on social media of any crypto right now. It gets the most likes, retweets, and posts on all social media platforms right now. You could argue that maybe XRP gets similar, but who wants to hear about XRP? Let's be honest, we all know what XRP is up to. But Fartcoin is one of those beasts. I mean, just look at it bouncing right now from its pullback to just under $1 billion market cap. It's significantly rising in the last day. Now, my reasoning as to why I'm holding Fartcoin and I continue to buy this is simply because it's used as a hedge, in my opinion, against all of the corruption that we see. People are so tired and sick of the actual governments across the planet taking advantage of people and how lackluster the financial system has been lately with inflation, etc. No one's really taking anything very serious right now in the West. So Fartcoin is used as this like useless crypto. I mean, it's literally called Fartcoin. But if this was to gain some huge traction, it's like an FU to the system, basically sending this to a multi-billion-dollar market cap as a way of saying we are tired of this system right now. And you can just see the actual volume that's been steadily accumulating for Fartcoin over the last couple of months. After that rally where we had that mini altcoin season at the end of last year, we've seen a very steady accumulation in terms of volume down here. The next crypto is a layer 1 blockchain known as Sonic, currently a $1.1 billion market cap. Now, this thing's slightly flying under the radar. I do see some influencers talking about it, but in my opinion, not enough. You can see that it's not really done anything after it was launched just after January of this year. You can see the price has been steadily decreasing from around 80 cents now to around 38 cents. So not only is Sonic a layer 1 blockchain, it's also an EVM, also known as Ethereum Virtual Machine, which is basically code in the Ethereum blockchain, allowing developers and applications to run more efficiently. Now, I think that the next move in the market is going to be Ethereum season, which I keep coming back to. With the phase overlap we're currently seeing right now, right here, money flows into Ethereum, but it struggles to keep up with Bitcoin. We are moving into that period where we move from Bitcoin to Ethereum season, and that's why Sonic is one of those picks that I'm focusing on right now. Also because I think that it's not had a fair rally right now. It's still been capitulating slightly after those initial token holders that got in early before a price that you can't even see, they've basically been selling on the market. So once we see that run out of steam and those initial investors are out, I think that Sonic is going to go absolutely crazy. Sonic is the highest performing Ethereum virtual machine layer 1, combining speed, incentives, and world-class infrastructure. It basically has a 400,000 terabytes per second speed, allowing people to actually send Ethereum much faster, and tokens as well on the Ethereum chain. If you're still watching, we are about to get into the lower cap cryptos, and I just want to thank you for tuning into this channel, and I wish you the best in any of these altcoins that you pick. But of course, it's not financial advice. You can lose your money, as we've mentioned many times. These cryptos can do exactly what Luna did. But if you appreciate the transparency of me not doing paid promotions and actually just giving you my research, analysis, and the altcoins that I'm buying into, turn that notification bell on down below so you don't miss future upload videos, as I'm delving into new cryptos, new narratives, and trying to keep up to date with what's going on in the crypto market. Thanks, guys. The next crypto is 445 million, and that is Aether, also known as ATH. Now, this is a big one of my favorite bags that I've been dollar cost averaging into very heavily, and I will be holding for the next 5 years. I think that this is very future proof, could even hold this for the next 10 years. Now, what is Aether? So Aether basically is an enterprise grade GPU marketplace. And for those of you that don't know, most of the enterprise grade GPUs that are fueling things like AI and also mining in the crypto space, they are made over in Taiwan. And this causes a very big problem, of course, getting these GPUs over into the West, like America and Europe. There is a big issue at the moment, and Aether really stands to solve one of those problems, allowing a lot of the big tech companies and AI giants over in Europe to actually access GPUs at an enterprise grade, allowing these companies to scale their computing power without having to outsource all the way to Taiwan, causing a lot of problems. Accelerate growth and get closer to the edge with Aether's distributed cloud compute infrastructure. You can see they are targeting the gaming industry. Atmosphere utilizes a highly performant network of low latency GPUs. They're really tapping into AI and gaming, which will be two really strong sectors in the upcoming cycle. You can see Aether is really yet to have any significant pump. When it was listed, we saw these initial token investors selling, which is something we typically see in crypto, and the price never really got above 10 cents. And this shows me it's in a really ideal spot to be accumulating this. Now, if you are considering to buy something like Render, which is the biggest GPU rendering actual crypto at the moment, 2 billion market cap, it didn't quite make my list simply because I would much rather be buying Aether, and I think there's a much better risk to reward, and I think that Aether stands to take up even more market cap as something like Render. We could see this in the upcoming cycle. As to whether Aether would genuinely beat Render in market cap is really purely speculation and might of course not happen, but I just think the risk to reward and actual gains are so much greater with Aether compared to Render, and that's why it's my GPU rendering pick for this video and something you guys should definitely be researching into. Price targets, I see no reason why Aether really can't get to about 5 to 10 billion market cap in the upcoming cycle, painting for a very nice 10 to 15 or 20x gain from here. So the next crypto at 300 million market cap, we are inching our way down to these lower cap cryptos now, getting closer and closer to under 100 million. So this is Zebek Network, also known as ZBCN. You can see in the last 24 hours there's been about 46 million of volume. You can see that it did pump quite a lot over the last couple of months, so it's having a pullback now. As you can see on that 7-day chart, it's dropped around about 40%, and in the last month as well, you can see that it's pretty much dropped like 50%. So I think that we could really see this come down to around about 30 cents, maybe even 25 cents. Just sensible pullback considering its insane rally where it basically did around a 2-3x gain in the last couple of months. So what is ZBCM? Now this integrates with Ripple XRP, and it basically allows to streamline streamline payments for basically payroll and infrastructure for these big finance companies out in the real world. You can consider it like a more efficient version of PayPal, but actually allowing these companies to pay their employees on the blockchain. So this is something that we're going to see time and time again in the crypto space. People are going to come up with these solutions to actually streamline payment processing on the blockchain for big companies, because this has to be done securely, and that's quite a big headache for some developers on the blockchain. You can see Zebek here changing the way money moves. Around the world, blockchain tech is being adopted at a rapid pace. Zebek is helping to create the future where money and value moves more freely, giving individuals, businesses, investors, and teams faster and easier access to funds and tokens, playing into the RWA narrative, which is, in my opinion, potentially the only sector that can outperform AI in the upcoming cycle. So definitely be paying close attention to RWA, and I will be releasing a top 10 RWA tokens video in the upcoming few days, guys. So make sure you subscribe with that notification bell on so you don't miss when I upload that. And they already have 50,000 monthly users on and off chain with 1 billion in payroll volume. So you can see they are doing some serious numbers already. Price targets for Zebek, it's hard to speculate how much adoption this thing will get, but considering all those numbers I just mentioned, this is a company doing some serious numbers already. I really don't see why this is going to be any less than 5 billion. And now if this plays an integral part with XRP, oh, you can only imagine the market cap that this thing could get to. It's hard to speculate, but again, we should be aiming for no less than a 10x gain in this upcoming cycle, because I think the altcoins have just been absolutely battered over the last 2 years, and we are yet to see some insane gains. Even though this has had a nice rally recently, 300 million market cap is still severely undervalued in my opinion. The next crypto is Destra Desync, 142 million market cap with 2.5 million volume in the last 24 hours. You can see that since its inoculation as a crypto in April of last year, we did see a rally around that mini alt season that we saw around Christmas of last year. You can see that it did make slightly new highs at 50 cents, and we pulled back basically to that support line that you can see down here around 10 cents. This is basically a decentralized physical infrastructure crypto, and that just sounds like a buzzword to most of you that don't really know what that is, but it allows companies out in the real world to actually scale on the blockchain. So there are a lot of companies over the next 5 to 10 years that are going to move over onto the blockchain. They're going to need a secure way to actually put their systems over into the blockchain and scale and have all of their information securely flow across different chains throughout the blockchain and carry out their actual streamlined business processes. And Desync allows that to happen with their comprehensive suite offering is designed to immerse Web3 enthusiasts in the authentic decentralized AI, leveraging their robust GPU network and cloud solutions. So it's giving companies a way to actually train AI on their network to improve their company. Their one-click solution deployment enables access to exclusive AI models for the masses, trained in their Destra lab over years of historical data. They have some serious tech that's being used already, and I really don't know why this thing is such a low market cap. I guess the only explanation is because of how low altcoins are in general. And you guys know, if you've been in crypto for at least a few years right now, a rising tide generally raises all of the ships, and that's what happens in crypto. You might see a few outperform a little bit, like Sui has in the last year, and a few other gems as well, like Zebek and also Kita, if you know that, have been doing very well recently. But we do see these outliers, but general rule of thumb, we see unfortunately a lot of these cryptos with very good utility, like Destra. Unfortunately, they're just like a buoy, like a beach ball that's just been pulled under the water by the actual narrative of altcoins and the overall market right now. And when that tide actually rises and someone lets go of that beach ball that's been holding it down underwater, altcoins just, they bounce like crazy. And usually people who have been accumulating and building their conviction and watching videos like this and trying to build out their portfolio with that conviction and understanding of utility and reasoning and scaling insensibly using dollar cost average and risk management, those are the people that reap the rewards in the upcoming cycle, and they're not left around scrambling, trying to buy the next narrative, the hottest coin way too late when these all-time highs are being printed. Those are the people that continue to dollar cost average even when it's green and even when it's red, and they reap the rewards. So the next crypto, 144 million market cap. We're going to fly through these lower cap cryptos right now. So we have ZigChain with a 10 million volume in the last 24 hours. You can see after this token was launched in 2021, basically at the end of that alt season in 2021, you can see this thing took an absolute beating in the bear market, but you can see that it did have a nice revival, which is a very good sign. We are back to those prior altcoin bull market levels back in 2021. So you can see it survived that brutal bear market. Now ZigChain is basically just an investment platform powering the next era of decentralized asset management through their actual ZigChain protocol, enabling fund managers to actually deploy on-chain strategies that unlock investment opportunities for all of their investors. So you can imagine there is a lot of fund managers out there that are looking towards the hype in crypto, and they're going to want to deploy their strategies over onto the blockchain, and ZigChain allows for that to happen. So this thing could get to comfortably maybe like a 700-800 million market cap, perhaps 1 billion in the upcoming cycle. You can see that volume has been steady over the last year in general, and I think that we'll continue to see that. And again, it's just like one of these inflated beach balls being pulled underwater right now, especially these lower cap gems in general. The next crypto is PAL AI, 130 million. You can see with 15 million volume in the last 24 hours, it is bottomed out nicely from its highs around Christmas of last year when we had that mini altcoin season. We are down around about 60-70%, so boasting for a very nice discount on this crypto. So this leverages machine learning and AI to give insight into crypto trading. You can also create custom AI bots for social media as well. You can see right here their website, basically showing the process of building one of those custom AI bots. Tokenize advanced AI applications using PAL. PAL is a robust ecosystem leveraging advanced AI and ML technologies. PAL enables users to build advanced AI applications and deploy them across multiple platforms, all across social media, etc., with over 100,000 apps already created on their platform. And you guys can see that it has been steadily increasing. There's not even a single bit of red on this chart, which shows to me simply they have some nice tokenomics. So I think this is going to perform very well, and I think that we'll see this shoot up to at least a 500 million market cap this cycle again, which basically was the prior high that you can see around March of 2024. So again, we could see maybe double that. We could see a billion, where this thing would shoot up to perhaps like just over $1. We could see that for PAL AI. Next up is Clearpool. As you can see, CPool, 109 million market cap. We're very close to getting under these 100 million market cap cryptos, guys. So I need to obviously give you a very quick warning. A lot of these cryptos, they can rug pull and they can scam, and you can lose all of your money. But you guys, if you're on this side of crypto, you're probably somewhat of a degenerate, just like me. You know the risk. You want to park your money in the safe investments and then play around with a small percentage. I hope that you're not putting all of your bag into these low caps, into stuff like this. As you can see right here, the first decentralized credit marketplace, you can basically take out loans without collateral and earn yield on your tokens. You can see some of their pools right here. Ethereum with an average APR of 2%. Optimism, which is another layer on top of Ethereum, you could get 17% with 88,000 or almost 1 million on Ethereum. But these platforms did have some insane numbers about a year ago, and we're seeing obviously a dip right now in the market. You can see institutional DeFi, you can see their lending protocols, etc. And I think that we're going to see a narrative very strong in the upcoming cycle, like we mentioned Aave at the start of this video, where people can take out loans, use things as collateral and earn yield on tokens in the blockchain space. This is something we yet to really see materialize in the blockchain space. Obviously it's absolutely huge out in the real world, and I think that now we have more institutional liquidity and adoption from BlackRock and other big players. This narrative is going to be very strong in the upcoming cycle. So I think that we could see this absolutely take off back to maybe 300 million market cap in the not so distant future, and then much greater as well. And I would really be looking to Aave to see how Aave does in this upcoming cycle to lift up that sort of rising tide raises all ships kind of thing with this Clearpool, because it's the same narrative as Aave. The next crypto, 87 million. So we're now under, wow, it's just jumped Oops, 94 million. I actually haven't refreshed this in a few hours, so I guess it's doing very well. We can see this on the daily chart. Yeah, you can see it had a nice pump in the last 24 hours. So Solidus AI Tech, as you can see right here, 22 million volume in the last 24 hours. And this basically allows machine learning and AI to create trading strategies. Now, I know that might seem a little bit sus, but you have to think about how legit the actual market is out there in terms of Forex trading stocks, whether it's like bonds, options. There is a huge market out there for trying to automate trading for these big banks, big institutions, or even retail traders in general. There is some serious money and tech going into actually learning how to trade through AI, because many are speculating over the next 10 to 20 years, our own human cognition is going to play even smaller of a percentage actual into trading in general. And this is hopefully going to be a pioneer on the blockchain space to do with that development. The next crypto is 0x0.ai. This is one of my favorites, actually under 100 million market cap. And this allows AI to build out smart contracts on the blockchain, which is actually what fuels the blockchain. There is not a single project out there that doesn't use smart contracts on the blockchain. And if we're using AI, it's going to make things more advanced in the future. You can see in the last day, the market's been doing very well, and this has been showing some great strength. Taking a look at all, you can see that price has basically only just pumped a few X's from its initial token price in 2023. We saw a double top in March of 2024 when there was a little alt season as well. And as I keep mentioning, around Christmas of last year, it had an insane pump. Look at that, from 11 cents up to around 40 cents in the best part of maybe like a week in general. And we've seen a huge pullback, giving us that discounted price. So they're really playing into privacy and advanced safety for their smart contracts as well, which is something that you really need an advanced team of developers to do. So using AI as well, I think this is a very strong narrative. Privacy in general is such a strong narrative. People mostly forget how important privacy is and security to do with these smart contracts, and it genuinely takes a big heavy lifting developer team to actually pull this off. The next crypto is Pinlink, also known as PIN, 60 million market cap, just over a million volume in the last 24 hours. You can see they're playing into some very strong narratives: RWA tokenization, DePIN, AI, and obviously giving developers new revenue streams for their assets. It's basically a very secure bridge to allow asset transfer across different chains, especially to do with tokenized RWA. So think of things like art and also tech, and of course companies and other things that you can tokenize physical assets over onto the blockchain. We're going to need a secure way to actually transfer this. The next crypto, we're just under 50 million market cap right now, is Hash AI, which is again one of my favorites under 50 million. You can see it's just under 600k volume in the last 24 hours. It's taken a beating since it was launched in April of 2024. You can see we made consecutive new lows, and I think eventually this is going to stop. Perhaps there's been some tokenomics playing into this. Maybe early investors were dumping on the price, or it could just simply be how it's been structured with their mining. So Hash AI is its own hash protocol that finds and adopts mining rigs to find the best layer 1 coins to mine. So the most profitable layer 1 coin is constantly searching for the best, most profitable, efficient way to mine. You can see revolutionizing AI, optimizing crypto mining. They already have a stacked inventory of GPUs that they're actually leveraging. Future-proof innovation. We utilize ever-evolving AI and proactively develop mining solutions. Hash AI tackles the inefficiency of manually switching between profitable coins and optimizes your mining with AI, using their algorithm to analyze markets and choose the most profitable coins in real time and adjusting their risks automatically, basically doing all of their heavy lifting for crypto miners. You can see right here they have 640 GPUs online at the moment. The next crypto is Anyone Protocol, 43 million with just under half a million 24-hour volume. You can see this thing topped out at around $2. We're now sat at 44 cents. So again, a very nice discount for this crypto. So this is giving true anonymity to blockchain developers, because right now we have a big problem in the Web 2 space. And as we're moving to Web 3, we need genuine anonymity for these developers, because right now all we have is these like shady VPNs that don't truly give anyone actual anonymity. And you can see they already have an updated router that they're actually allowing developers to use. privacy that anyone can trust. Unlike a VPN, the Anyone network can't track you, playing into privacy and deepin with a plug-and-play router solution. Their SDK allows you to tunnel application traffic through their decentralized privacy infrastructure. You can see they're showing off some of their code right here. I assume that'll be on their actual network. And they have some good integration with Tor and also Arweave. The next crypto is XMW Morphware, 43 million market cap, just under 2 million volume in the last 24 hours. This thing's been doing very well recently. Just look at that volume down here. You can see there is some serious accumulation from whales right now. And if you're looking for a future-proof crypto, this is one not to ignore for such a low market cap, because they're finding a way to actually power AI and these computing solutions for big tech companies in a sustainable way without affecting the environment. Now, Meta and other big companies right now have just been buying up space, cutting down all the trees, building these big rigs and mining fields with just generating as much power as possible. They don't care. They're absolutely ruthless. Imagine buying your dream family home, and next thing you know, Meta has just bought a huge land space next to you and has propped up a huge mining farm. You would be absolutely furious. And they're actually coming around this and finding a solution to use hydroelectric power to actually power these computing solutions. You can see, powered by green energy, our mining operations set the gold standard: efficient, scalable, and sustainable. Every token and mining rig contributes to a cleaner and more profitable future. I think this thing can really get to a couple $100 million market cap at minimum. Perhaps we could even see $1 billion in the upcoming cycle or the following cycle after that. As mentioned, this is quite future proof, but it's purely speculation as to how much adoption this thing can get. But as you can imagine, the narrative for a sustainable way to power all of these AI, mining, and big tech companies, the amount of power some of these companies and governments are looking to generate over the next couple of years and 10, 20 years is crazy. So we're going to see more sustainable cryptos like this as more as possible. The next crypto, definitely a slept on crypto indeed, is Quai Network with the ticker Quai. 34 million, 2 million volume in the last 24 hours, currently sat at around 7 cents. Quai Network is a scalable and programmable proof of work blockchain designed to serve as a new global monetary system. So this was playing into how Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was also made to be a new global monetary system at its core, with Quai introducing a new energy-based flat coin, aligning its value with the cost of energy. They've basically come up with a solution to work around how slow Bitcoin is, and their solution eliminates block contention and provides lightning fast finality. The network architecture comprises multiple interoperable chains, enabling high throughput, over 50,000 transactions per second, a lot higher than Bitcoin. You can see their website is very nice. Money is losing its meaning. Find yours. With their new proof of work blockchain, their vision is to create a financial system that is transparent, secure, and fair. They've basically come up with a custom solution to work around the pain point of miners using hash power for Bitcoin. As you can see, experiencing ultra fast transactions up to 50,000 TPS, incredibly low fees, less than a penny per transaction. Their robust design is resilient to censorship and fortified against adversarial threats, offering you a secure and efficient transaction experience. The next crypto at a 28 million market cap, just over a million volume in the last 24 hours. You can see it's broken that nice trend line indeed, and this is OpenServe, also known as Serve, and I featured this in my last few videos. Why? Because it's simply so undervalued in my opinion, and this is playing into the AI agents narrative. It's basically a marketplace to purchase and also a platform to build your own AI agents, which can all interact with each other across different niches and chains. They already have a working application, and this is something that I keep looking to for these lower cap cryptos, because quite frankly, in the last two cycles I was seeing multi-billion-dollar coins just with loads of promises, telling people, yeah, we're going to have a platform eventually, but never actually building anything, eventually going to zero. And here we see platforms already out and functioning. You can see you can browse AI agents, build your own for a crypto with only a 28 million, well now $31 million market cap. It's just been refreshed. They have AI agents in various different niches which can help you with financial modeling, productivity, and task management. This could really aid a lot of employees to get stuff done within companies. The last crypto, this is a super low cap gem with only a 200k volume in the last 24 hours at an 8 million market cap. This thing is GraphLink Chain. This is one bet that I'm heavily scaling into as a part of my ultra low cap cryptos. Now, this is basically a no code platform to build applications on the blockchain. You can see right here, this volume down here shows me whales have been accumulating steadily since its inoculation in 2021. It managed to survive the bear market, which is a very good sign for such a low market cap crypto. Create dApps, launch your own coin, build bots, and design AI agents. They already have a working platform for this. You can see their social media here, 37,000 followers with some good organic engagement and also consistent posting on their platform, showing off, as you can see, shipping new updates and generally engaging consistently with their community, which for a crypto with 8 million market cap is something you definitely want to keep paying attention to, but I think this thing is heavily undervalued. So that's a wrap for this video, guys. I genuinely wish you the best of luck whichever cryptos you pick to add into your portfolio. Remember, build your conviction, look at the utility, and stay up to date with the progress so that you have your conviction, because conviction goes very far in crypto. When the market dips 20%, you're only going to be dollar cost averaging and buying more, reaping the rewards while everyone else is scrambling to FOMO in or either sell at small drops. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'm going to put a video up on the screen so you can see my other low cap cryptos that I'm buying into as well and see my other research. That's a wrap, guys. I've been Crypto Smith. Peace out.